This is the Panasonic NV-FS121. There's a Super VHS deck and it was the last deck they made. Bought this one second hand off eBay and it was sold as noise on the playback. It looked like the video heads were dirty, they needed cleaning. I picked it up cheap with a hope maybe get it working. When I got the deck, I opened it up and I've cleaned the heads inside and the tape path. It didn't do anything. And then I noticed these two capacitors here, one of them was leaking. These are the capacitors that was in there that I took out. I've changed them both of them on the power supply. This one was leaking there, as you can see, and it was actually leaking underneath as well. That one is it's a 10 volt 1200 UF, and then the other one, which I changed anyway because it was right next to it just for the sake of it, is a 25 volt 680. I managed to strip the deck down, took the tape mechanism out and put two new capacitors in there. The problem still exists, so I don't know whether I should change this one here, which is a 400 volts and it's a 33 UF by the looks of it, but that looks okay. I did notice the display was quite dim. Doesn't look too bad on the camera. I have another one of these decks. I had the same problem with these two capacitors and I got it repaired at a local repair shop, but unfortunately they don't do repairs now. So I was hoping that was going to fix it, but it hasn't done. I'm going to show you now what happens when I put a tape in. And I can't do it, can I? Sometimes it does that if it's not dead straight going in. Right, so looks like there's a tape path problem. Dirty heads. This is a pre-recorded tape anyway, it's a Jack Nicholson one, Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but I've tried a few different tapes. That's where I'm getting there with intermittent sound. So what I've tried to do here is I've adjusted the two tape paths. This one, post 2 and post 3. I've tried that and that's not done anything. I ended up screwing them all the way down and then they would just keep turning, so I've had to sort of like pull them up and pull them off because they're only kind of screwed into like a plastic on these particular decks. The video head looks okay actually, but I'm guessing it might be damaged. On the other hand then, I've adjusted this particular thing here, control head I think it is, audio head. Just see if I can do that now. Put a screwdriver in there and just slack that off. This particular bit here now, the audio control head, there is a bit of movement on that. I've slacked that screw off actually, I think. Which can now, if you can see, you can now move the up, slide up or down. You can go up or down with like a marker, so it was actually like that originally. I've been adjusting that and I've managed to get a stable picture, but it's still like that with all that noise in. There's two screws there and they kind of adjust the tilt, so I'm not quite sure what that is. This seems to just keep the tape, that was about there, but it seems to move itself. Whether that's anything to do with it, what that's for, I don't know. And then you've got the screw at the back and then this one here which is slackened off and you can now slide off. When I do that, see, it kind of knocks the picture on and off. I've tried adjusting this pot here in the corner, which is the CB-FM envelope, and turning that does nothing, and put it back. I've tried adjusting the I don't know whether it's this back tension thing here, pushing on that doesn't seem to do out. I've tried adjusting the tape path. Originally the tape here, it was like very wobbly, like, and the actual cassette was like making a noise as though it was like stalling. Now at least now I've got it running smoothly. It looks pretty smooth, and the tape originally was riding down on the bottom of the head, so it wasn't in the groove where it should be. As I say, all I'm getting now is that, which is probably a little bit better than it was, but I don't know whether it's the heads. I mean, that one looks okay. It looks like they've got like a little bit of like almost like a glue coating over the top. That one looks okay. That one, there's one, it looks like there's a bit of wire coming out. I don't know if you can actually see that there. Let's pull that back. You see that there? See, there's a little bit of wire there coming out. I don't know if you can see that on the edge, and I don't know whether that's a damaged head or not, or it should be like that. But looking on my other one, my other deck, which is the same as this, which is working, that also has the same. Out of all the heads, one of them's like not got the coating on. Like these have got like a little bit of a coating on. And then another thing as well, while I was doing these posts, I ended up slipping with the screwdriver, and I just bloody caught it on the top of the head, somewhere there where the line is there. But I can't see that mark there was already on. I can't actually see any damage, but I don't think I've done. It doesn't seem any worse, because I understand the heads are there. You gotta be careful when you're adjusting them posts, you don't catch the spinning head, because I actually caught it with this. That's the screwdriver I was using. Just happened to just caught it just somewhere near the top with the tip for the second, like that. But I don't think I've done anything. It's actually a very nice deck, so if I can get it working, it would be good. I'll show you what I mean by these. These just actually come off like that. See, it looks like they just kind of tapped into the actual plastic. Originally, I tightened them right up, so they were all the way down, and then I ended up realising then that all they was doing once they tightened right up was just keep turning. So now, I pushed that in. See, when I push that in, and then it'll just keep turning that. So you just turn it, doesn't come up or down. So what you've got to do, you've got to pull it up a bit. Pull it up and turn it to raise it. Probably adjusted it now out of whack, but basically I brought it up so that the tape was actually sitting where I thought it should be on that groove, you know, going across. So because beforehand it was going below. Let's try it again now. That's it. Probably need to just now and gone. Right, hang on. Let's put that in there. Tighten that up a sec. It's not going to be any better, it's not going to be any worse. Put it in now. And you see it laces up okay. So I know it's not the best trying to do it on an LCD TV because it keeps blanking out, but just what else to me. And now what I'll do is I'll just bear with me a sec. I'll just grab, I've now got the proper ended screwdriver, which is the one with the two thingies on there, so I'm just going to see if I can adjust this. But even turning that now, so you know what, I'm thinking it's not a tape path problem. See that now, I'm turning that now. And that's how it was originally. Looking at the tape running through now. Might be a touch too high, but it doesn't seem too bad. It seems quite smooth running through, doesn't it? There, look at that now. Because originally this was all kind of waving, this side. What was to say, there's this bit here now. Whether that's, as I say, I've had a mess with these screws and that. Adjusting that is causing the picture to waver. So that's about the best now that I've got. If you look at that now, it's about the best I can get it, which is still no good. So I'm just wondering what it might be. Anything else I can try? The last thing I was going to say was that's the DVD player I've got going in as an input to check that it's actually outputting okay. So it seems to be outputting alright. That's about it for now. Take that tape out, sign off.